Dogs. Collagen. So I'm Rachel Lennon. I'm a paediatric nephrologist and director of the Manchester Cell Matrix Centre in the UK. I run, yeah, and sometimes run marathons. Collagen 4. Oh, that's a good question. There are so many. Imaging is always so satisfying. Seeing is believing, and the ability to go to increasing resolution is always very exciting. As well as seeing where things are, I think we've been really keen to know, what's there, so composition. So coupling together increasingly global approaches like proteomics together with, spatial biology and imaging is a perfect combination. And I think, there's plenty of discoveries already, more to come with those approaches. We started off doing a lot of mass spec-based proteomics, still do, and we're moving over now with lots of data through those approaches, moving through to do far more imaging and manipulation, I guess genetic manipulation of experimental systems. That's a great question. This was when I moved up to Manchester just after my PhD in Bristol and found the Cell Matrix Centre, and I had a brilliant time as a postdoc in Martin Humphrey's lab, where there was a lot of focus on adhesion receptors and adhesion complexes. And when I was chatting to Martin early on, he said, well, Rachel, if you want to understand what's going on in podocyte adhesion, you need to know what's in the matrix. So that's where we started out, just looking at matrix in our systems. And we've never left the matrix. There's been many along the way. So my PhD I did in Bristol and had two fabulous nephrologists as my mentors, Moin Salim, who introduced me to the podocyte, and Peter Matheson, academic nephrologist, who I learned a whole load from in terms of research, academic life, leadership. It's been a real privilege in Manchester to work with so many brilliant researchers in matrix biology. Martin Humphreys was a postdoc mentor. The directors of the centre over the years, Carl Cadler, Charles Stroyley, have all been brilliant mentors. But outside of Manchester as well, the community has been very generous in support. Roy Zent from Vanderbilt is, as a fellow nephrologist, has been a fabulous mentor too. I think we are all teachers, we have to be. People that I love listening to are often those who work in the model organisms in Drosophila, in C. elegans, so Andrea Page-McCord, Dave Sherwood, Sally Horn-Badovanak, are all examples of matrix researchers who make their science very accessible. My top piece of advice is to jump in to this area of research, jump in, immerse yourself. That requires you to read, to interact within our community. It can be overwhelming. There's so much information and data out there. How do we deal with that? Well, the way to deal with that is to get that peer support and to reach out to people with your questions, no matter whether they are, whatever stage of their career they are, because I think it's important that we connect across the career stages, And whenever I have a query from somebody who's a much earlier stage of their career, it's just a real pleasure to be able to respond, to help them with, you know, what their questions are. So, so my advice is to immerse yourself, start to understand the work that's gone before, and to reach out, connect with people in the community. Lots of wonderful memories of coming to this meeting over the years, of being involved with and organising now basement membrane workshops. And I think I guess for this meeting, what I've also loved is, you know, the group of crazy people that like to go out running, and the most standout memory was when a bunch of us decided to run into a canyon at twilight and run a half marathon just outside Las Vegas. And that is most memorable and wonderful.